Andrew recently sent me through his portfolio. He's got a principal place of residence, 2 existing investment properties. Goal is to get to 20 properties over the next 10 to 15 years. He's young, so he's already doing fantastic. He runs his own business. That's important to know because there's a big distinction of potentially how things should be structured from a taxation point of view. Again, I'm not an accountant, and how that should grow the portfolio. So he's told me he's able to save roughly $40,000 a year. He has a principal place of residence worth 700 grand. He has a mortgage on that of 160 and an investment split of 270. That investment split relates to investment property number 1. That's worth 500. He has a mortgage of that of 220. And then he has investment property number 2 of 400. And he has a mortgage of 220 against that one as well. So the first thing you want to look at is where the future deposit's going to come to accumulate that many properties. So he needs to buy another 18 properties. Let's say he continues buying at $500,000 a property. He needs to accumulate roughly $2.2 million of deposits over time. So we can look in his principal place of residence. There's a lot of equity we could access there, and also in investment number 1. But the first thing we want to look at is structure, how he should buy them and why he should buy them in that way. First of all, running your own company, there's tax advantages by having retained profits. If the profit stays inside of the company, you pay 25 cents. If you distribute that money out to a holding company, you're going to pay 30 cents on the dollar. So what he might consider doing moving forward is actually starting to not save that money in his own name, but saving it in a holding company. So he only ever pays 30 cents on the dollar and uses that to start investing through a family trust or actually investing via a company. The reasons he may want to do that is 1, a tax saving up front, and 2, when you're buying inside of trusts, you can borrow more money over time. If anybody's trying to get to a 20 property portfolio, they're going to hit a certain point where they run out of borrowing capacity unless they're making a significant amount of money. So if you're buying them in trusts or companies, they're actually then treated as a business, which is how you should treat property anyway. So long as that property or that company, however many properties you hold inside of that entity, actually services itself, which it will over time, you can open up a next entity and borrow money again as if you don't have debt in the existing structure. So the first thing I'll do here for Andrew is get actual valuations across these assets, and I'd pull as much debt as I can out of there, up to 80%, so he has the deposits to do so. With the $40,000 savings he's able to do, I'd focus that on 160 and eliminate that debt. It's non-tax deductible debt. Paying it off at $40,000 extra a year is going to eliminate it very quickly. Then the only debt he actually has is investment debt, which is fully tax deductible and enables him to scale up. So once he's pulled out the equity, let's just say across here, he has roughly $500,000 that he can access. I'd then be talking to his accountant, setting up a trust, confirming his borrowing capacity through that trust, and buying a group of assets, maybe 4 or 5 properties initially under that investment trust before he then goes on and do it the same thing. So the reason for that for him, in his circumstances, being that he's self-employed, there may be some tax benefits up front, so he's not paying the income directly to his own name, and it's going to allow him to continue to go and borrow more and more money in the future, because holding assets in a trust can be looked upon very differently than your own name. That's how he's going to get to 20 properties.